Okay, now that I've gotten done fucking around, it's time to work on reposting Mutri because a lot of them had a lot of changes, and I've been doing a little bit of work in the background so that way that I can have a more a more coherent method of doing these videos. Let me just give her lore real quick. Mutri is the amount of air and plant life, able to control air and command plant growth, and is animalistic and savage by nature. She tends to keep to herself, living in the vast jungle of Lee Magna, and is viewed as the queen of the hive by the de-evolved tribe of Kodan that she protects. When she first awoke from her pod, she went to the swamps of Lee Magna. After meeting the bug-like Kodan tribe, they shared their food with her, and over the next few weeks would mutate until she took the appearance she now has, as unknown mutagens saturated the swamps in the food they consumed. So basically for Mutri, she didn't always look like this. Well, let me just adjust this camera a little bit because I think I'm moving the back up. There we go. She did not always look like this horrifying bug creature. She was more on the lines of Koba's design, but with the same scythe arm she has now. That's like that and the head design are more or less the only things that had not really changed. She had feet similar to Vero's, which we'll see that when I get to Vero's review. In fact, she looked a lot like Vero in a lot of ways, just a little bit more animalistic. She still had the horn, but the mandibles on her mouth, little extra arms, the Gatorans on her belly, don't fall over, the little pinched on her rear end, and the wings on her back were not her original design. That's not something she had by default. So the mutagen just messed her up heavily. And she became this bug-like creature that still is an Amata, but, you know, less Amata-ish. She fell more deeper into the bug-like or the animalistic nature of her design, to the point where she's just almost unrecognizable. But let's get a little closer on her head, because that's the thing I'm most happy with. One sec here, let me get the camera in place. For her head, since I now have more of these little black finger pieces, I thought to use them as mandibles for her to use. Little bug ones. I should have enough to be able to use them in other builds, but that's the ones I'm using. Now, maybe wondering what's with the clip. Well, she is able to shoot webs out of her mouth, which gives me the ability to have this little web spec piece. I'm not going to keep it together, but I'm going to, rebuild it if I want to. Which will allow her to basically ensnare you. The only problem is when she spits the web, she can't, she has to use her mandibles to break the web so that she could be able to not be attached to them. That's usually a way that you kind of throw her for a loop if she's attacking you. Prevent her catching the web right in the nick of time to where you could just throw her around like she's a ragdoll. Another thing is her wings. Now the wings are very simplistic. They're just CCB. They're just the uniter blades. I know I have another one in this green. I just have to find it. But when I do, she's got two of the same wing. She is still falling over. This backdrop is not working well for her kind of design. So, do a little bit of pose work. That kind of works. But yeah, she has wings. She's not able to flap them and fly like a bug. She used it to glide around. So she'll jump off of tall trees or anything like that, just glide around. And with her abilities to control airflow, she's able to continuously stay in the air. They just tuck up right behind her. Now for articulation, well, I'll actually give you, move this a little more. So they give you a 360, that's something I keep forgetting. I need to get a turntable thing to where I can be able to do it that way. Just have it to where she's just actively 360. I might do that when I finally get the pieces to finish modifying them. But yeah, for articulation, it's mostly ball joints, so you can be able to figure it out. The only one that's really limited is this one, but you can kind of unlimit it by pulling it out a little bit so she gets more range. But I keep it plugged in like this because it makes it to where her leg won't fall so easily. Because those ball joints, they don't like to stay in very well. She does have a ratchet in her waist, but it's so limited, it should not even count. It's more or less just to give her the angle to her posture, which, you know, she doesn't have a posture because she's quadrupedal. But yeah. Anything else I want to say? Well, let's go into what I'd want to do to change her. Now, I don't know what I can do just yet. I'm thinking of maybe finding a different kind of blade piece for the wings. I don't know what I'm going to go with just yet. I'm going to look up blade pieces that Binocle used. Maybe some Hero Faraday ones that they might have used to see what I like. There's a few that I have my eyes on, but I've kind of had my eyes on a few times in the past, but I don't know if it'd be ones I'd use for her. It'll be some experimenting. Maybe change this Keto Orange to Sand Green. If I can get these Bionicle leg piece in Sand Green, I'll change all this Keto Orange to Sand Green. Because if I look at her belly and everything, I'm pretty sure I have all the pieces in Sand Green already. It's just those little things are not, you know, compatible. And again, it also gives it a kind of bug leg look. I would also see what my other options are for her horns. Maybe change those up. I don't know yet. That's an idea I can do in the future, maybe. What else? For her blades, I do want to keep the same blade design, but I want to see what else I can get for, like, on the upper portion of the arm to make it look like there's an actual just continuation of the blade, not just a little dagger at the end of her legs. The back legs, again, I don't remember very well what is out there, so it'll be something I do as an experiment. If anything, if I do re-review Mutri, she's going to be the last of the Amata I will review, because I want to do a lot of experimenting as I get more parts in the future. But right now, this is the Mutri. She is the Bug Amata. She is the one that is just a violent bug creature. I finally am getting around to the Google Docs, so as I go through each and every one, they'll the next one will be done I'm gonna do them one each at a time. So yeah, expect to see Mutri. All right, next, and then next up will be who's next on here? Vero, which Vero's had some slight modifications. So yeah, he's ready. Also, two of the Amata have been slightly changed up as well, are no longer Amata. But yeah, that's all I want to say for the video. Have a good day, good night, and hope you enjoyed Christmas.